As he lay in bed, that same feeling crept over him once again, pressing in from the corners of the room. He told himself it was nothing, shut off the lights, and tried to sleep. Around midnight, the bathroom light clicked on, then off, and he heard running. Small footsteps, fast, back and forth. He sat up, heart pounding, scanning the dark. No one was there.
Hello, this will be a story about haunted houses. Some people are used to seeing things like this happening to them every single day. They do not have any other choice than to just live with these occurrences day after day, night after night, or sometimes it just starts to happen out of nowhere. If you believe or not, that's totally up to you. But remember, this might just be a story for some of you. But if you don't have enough respect for it, it might become your next reality. Let's begin with our program, What Crawls in the Nights. My house was built in the 1920s. The garage came much later, in the 1980s. But before that, it was nothing more than a rabbit hutch. Long before I was born, in the 1940s, a little boy choked and died in the basement. Most of my family has lived here since the 1960s. My great-great-uncle, Jack, built the house himself, and my great-grandparents moved in not long after. This place has always been ours, and maybe that's part of the problem. My father was the first to notice something was wrong. When he was a child, he spent a lot of time in the basement whenever he visited his grandparents. That's where all the toys were. My great-grandmother ran a daycare, so the basement was full of noise during the day. Laughter, crying, footsteps. But at night, it felt different, too quiet, too aware. Sometimes toys would be moved. Sometimes things wouldn't be where he left them. Mostly, though, it was the feeling, the certainty that something was watching him from just out of sight. One night, he slept downstairs. As he lay in bed, that same feeling crept over him once again, pressing in from the corners of the room. He told himself it was nothing, shut off the lights, and tried to sleep. Around midnight, the bathroom light clicked on, then off. Then he heard running, small footsteps, fast, back and forth. He sat up, heart pounding, scanning the dark. No one was there. Then he heard it again, a quiet laugh, a child's laugh, too close to be imagined. He told it to go away. The light clicked on again. After that night, my father refused to go into the basement for a very long time. Years later, it was my turn. I lived in the house with my parents and siblings, and my bedroom was in the basement. One afternoon, after school, I was home alone, downstairs, doing homework. One of our dogs was with me, laying nearby. Suddenly, he just stood up. His body went rigid. He began to growl at nothing, staring at the open space near the bathroom. Then, without warning, he bolted upstairs, claws scraping against the floor, whining in panic. I remember feeling irritated more than scared. I had homework to finish. Then, the bathroom light turned on. I walked over to turn it off, telling myself it was a wiring issue. As my hand reached for the switch, I heard it. A giggle. Soft, playful, coming from the corner behind me. I ran upstairs and called my dad. shaking so badly I could barely speak. I told him I was never going back into the basement. When he came home, he walked downstairs with me. The bathroom light was on again. He turned it off calmly and told me the little boy was just playing, that we should ignore him. Then, almost casually, he mentioned the garage did similar things. The garage where my dad runs his business. One day, while he was working alone, the door opened by itself, then closed. The lights flickered on and off repeatedly. The television, broken since 1990s, with no remote, suddenly turned on and began playing The Simpsons. Tools went missing, only to reappear moments later in their original spots, looking untouched. Things were knocked over when no one was there. The garage always felt wrong, like it was waiting for someone to just get in or get out. My mother experienced things too. In the basement laundry area, right beside the space beneath the stairs, she heard voices. She said she sometimes saw shapes watching her from underneath. Something crouched just beyond the light, perfectly still, as if it knew she could sense it. We also have a family ranch where 10 generations of my family have lived. There, we've seen dead relatives walking through the fields, felt hands grip our shoulders, heard our names whispered directly into our ears, footsteps that stop when you turn around. And then, there are the dreams. My father and I both dream of dead people, sometimes strangers, sometimes family. They tell us things, specific things, that no one else could know. My father once dreamed his uncle came to him and said he died in a car accident. When my father woke up, he learned it was true. Recently, everything has escalated again. We started tearing down the garage. Since then, doors have begun opening and closing on their own. My dad has been having dreams warning him not to destroy it. The basement activity has increased too. Like whatever is there is no longer content to stay quiet. I've been dreaming more often. Most of the dreams are familiar. I sit in a chair. Sometimes someone sits across from me in a brown leather chair. I can always see them clearly. But a few nights ago, it changed. I was sitting on the chair again, but this time, the figure across from me was only a shadow. No face, no features, just a shape that felt impossibly dense. It didn't speak. I woke up almost immediately, heart racing, with the overwhelming sense that the dream had ended because it wanted to. This morning, I woke up at 5 to go to the gym. While brushing my teeth, I heard footsteps moving through the house. Kitchen to bathroom to living room. I assumed it was just my parents. When I went upstairs, the house was completely empty. Both of my parents were asleep. I went back downstairs, shaking, and decided not to leave. I laid back in bed, which sits directly beneath the living room. Then I heard the recliner above me, rocking back and forth, as if someone had just settled into it. No one was awake. No one was upstairs. Everything has been wrong since we started tearing down the garage. It feels like the house knows, like something that's been buried, tolerated, ignored for decades is finally reacting as if he doesn't like what is going on in there. And now I don't know what to do anymore. At this pace, I'm just gonna start to go crazy, insane. I need to get out of this place. Well, guys, that was today's story. I'm sorry if my voice was kind of shaky or it wasn't as good as usual, but I just got sick a couple days ago. So I'm gonna try my best to do these episodes with this voice. If you like these long videos, please let me know. Like, subscribe, and that would be very helpful. So remember, don't ignore the sounds tonight. You've already awakened it. Good night, and don't let the bed bugs bite.